Central Coast News right now. This is breaking news.
There's a fire, a huge fire. I just wanted to make sure somebody reported it. We had a huge fire about.
What address are you at?
Just, I can see a huge ball of orange. It's not so close, I mean, that I'm in danger.
911.
We have a fire, forest fire, Viper Ridge. All right, we got to get going here.
Okay, alrighty, thank you.
911 emergency.
Hey, we're reporting a fire in Big Sur.
Hi, this is Veronica from the Big Sur Lodge. If you could send, there's a fire across the highway.
Smoke everywhere. I can't see where it's coming from, but it's definitely brush fire.
Well, those are the 911 recordings just released an hour ago, documenting the frantic calls that people made as they realized the mountains were burning in Big Sur. Right now, firefighters on the ground are approaching the first 48 hours of this firefight. We have complete coverage of the Pfeiffer fire, from the size and containment to the evacuations and how it's impacting families and businesses. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mark. This is Jazz.
And our chief meteorologist, Norm Hoffman, is standing by the weather center with those wind patterns. Plus, our Ricardo Navarro will have the very latest from the front lines. But first, we want to get you up to speed here. 769 acres have burned. It is 20% contained. Mandatory evacuations are still in place for Sycamore Canyon, Clear Ridge, and Pfeiffer Ridge. Voluntary evacuations have been issued for residents west of Highway 1 between Fernwood and River End.
You can take a look at this. Highway 1 is partially closed south of Pfeiffer State Park after a tree fell in the roadway. The southbound lane is closed, and traffic, you saw, is moving slowly. Let's get the very latest near the fire line from our own Ricardo Navarro.
Well, Mark, the biggest challenge today has been the terrain, and as you guys said, that fire has grown to 769 acres, but U.S. Forest Service reps say that that is not entirely because the fire is growing, but because they have a better mapping system today and better visibility on the fire. Now, 22 structures have been destroyed by the fire, but 24 were saved from volunteers and fire crews. Today, more crews came out from as far as Ventura County. Earlier, we did get closer to the fire and saw some air tankers dropping some water on some heavy, intense flames. Now, crews say unless there is a drastic change in weather, they expect full containment by Friday evening. Now, the deputy fire chief today said that because it is so heavily wooded in this area, that is adding more fuel to the fire, but weather seems to be on their side.
It's a two-edged sword. Right now, the weather's on our side because the conditions that have socked things in have moderated the fire behavior, but then it also limits the amount of air resources that can come in because of the lack of visibility. So it's on our side as far as the fire's not running or moving, and we're able to get up next to it, but then we lose our air support.
So each day, containment is expected to go up. Right now, crews have 4 water tankers and 8 miles of lines built. Now, the latest update that crews gave was pretty positive. It seems like they are making some progress. There will be no more evacuations at this time. And as you can see behind me, there are people actually leaving the command post because they just had a meeting for locals here to just keep them informed and keep them in the loop, which is seems to be positive, and everyone seems to like the news that they heard. Live in Big Sur, Ricardo Navarro, your Central Coast News.
All right, Ricardo, thanks. We want to turn now to the weather and its impact on this fire. So, Norm, what do the conditions look like right now, and then how will they change?
Well, today it was warm around the Central Coast again in many areas. Mid-70s down at Big Sur. Take a look. As we look, wind flow patterns, even though aloft, are coming out of the southwest, we still had smoke from that fire coming up over the Central Coast. It continues to be a fire that is raging in an area where temperatures are cool, increasing relative humidity overnight, but the fuels moisture is still 6% in the area. So this fire is not running like we usually see when the winds are blowing, but still, we're still seeing the dry fuels continuing to burn, and the weather will change on Thursday I expect some gusty winds out of the northwest. Mark, I'll send it back to you.
And Norm, take a look at this. Visibility heading into the area is very bad as the smoke is hanging low like fog. Fire crews across Salinas responding to a few calls as people thought the smoke was from a different fire. That's how heavy it is. Monterey County Emergency Communications wants to let people know right now that the 911 center is aware of the smoke from Big Sur, which is drifting not only into Salinas, but other North County areas. So they are inundated. Please keep that in mind. An air health advisory is in effect for Monterey County, and the Monterey Bay Area Air Quality Control District has sent air quality equipment down to Big Sur. Right now, Michelle Polito standing by at the command post at Big Sur Station with how this fire spread during the night and where it possibly started. Michelle?
Hey, Mark. Well, as you can see right behind me, the smoke is still very thick, and what started off with only 200 firefighters has now more than doubled.
Our crews currently are out there assessing building line and structure protection.
But with all of those efforts in place, the fire still expanded an extra 50 acres overnight.
It's a combination of the weather and the terrain. This morning we had some gusty winds, which, did push it a little bit.
Fire investigators tell me they know the fire's point of origin, but wouldn't say where, and are still trying to figure out what triggered this more than 750-acre blaze.
And we don't provide that until we actually know what actually the cause was, because there's all kinds of rumors flying around, as we all know. So until we actually know the cause, we'll wait till that to be released, because we try to protect the point of origin from anybody going in and destroying any of the evidence that might be still there.
Fire crews are expecting to fully contain this fire by Friday evening. Now, keep in mind that can all change depending on weather conditions. In the meantime, firefighters from all over California keep coming in to help. Michelle Polito, live in Big Sur, your Central Coast News.
Michelle, thanks for that. As fire crews work to contain the flames, what's next for the families whose homes were damaged or destroyed? Right now, we have Michael Mosbach with us. He is the general manager of Property Restoration Services. Thanks for coming in. We appreciate it. You were involved back in 2008 with the Basin Complex fire. You went down there. First off, what do you do going in to help these people? What are you able to do?
Well, yes, we were down there, and obviously my heart goes out to anybody that sustained any damage due to this fire. Typically in this type of a fire, you're going to have a lot of people who have sustained heavy smoke damage. Some people have lost their property due to actual fire damage. And the key to any fire is basically taking as immediate action as you can to salvage what was smoke damage, salvage what may have been fire damaged, and provided that you take fairly quick action, you'd be surprised what actually can be salvaged out of a structure and for people's personal contents.
And looking at all these photos and images, some of them here from the fire that we're dealing with right now, again approaching 2 days of this firefight. So that's the key there. The first thing to do, simply reach out, contact people like your group that can help.
Yeah, that's correct. Dealing with fire losses can be incredibly challenging and overwhelming emotionally, amongst other
And if you can't
facets.
speak about that, your team has to have that emotional training as well.
Well, sure. You can imagine people have lost their homes. They've lost everything, and you can't replace those types of things. And at that time, you want to be dealing with more of the administrative, less of the administrative side and more of the emotional healing. So that's where a company that's skilled and understands the processes involved with restoration can really help.
All right, Michael Mosbach with Property Restoration Services. Thanks for the insight. We appreciate you coming in. We told you yesterday about Fabian Perez and his family. Just after the fire broke out, he and his father, they grabbed garden hoses to try and save their home, but they lost everything. And now Fabian's family and others are receiving financial help from people online. The donations are through a website called GoFundMe. And right now, more than $5,000 has been raised for the Perez family. You can check out KIONrightnow.com for a link.
Let's fast forward here to Central Coast News at 6 o'clock on our Pfeiffer fire coverage. Businesses are reaching out to families in need and providing any help they can right now. Plus, The SPCA for Monterey County in action, moving in to help rescue animals near those fire lines. All that and much more tonight at 6 o'clock.
And for all the latest information on the fight for fire in Big Sur, just visit KIONrightnow.com. And for those of you who receive our breaking news alerts, we are in the middle of a website redesign, and that means you will need to sign up again for those email alerts. When you get to the site, just click email at the top of the homepage next to the search bar. Well, this information just into our newsroom. Christopher Sorensen has dropped his insanity plea and has pleaded guilty to the second-degree murder of his own mother, a popular Salinas piano teacher. Sorensen had been diagnosed as schizophrenic and was found by doctors to be sane at the time of his mother's murder in 2011. He'll be sentenced next month to 15 years to life in prison.
Well, more local news now. Monterey County Supervisor Lou Calcagno has announced he's retiring. He won't seek re-election on the board. Supervisor Calcagno began his service to Monterey County 33 years ago. That includes 18 years on the Planning Commission and 16 years on the Board of Supervisors. So Supervisor Calcagno and his wife Carol say they will now devote their time to their family and their business.
Students at Monterey Peninsula College are trying to save their theater department. A gathering will be held tonight to come up with a plan of action. The theater department is one of several facing proposed budget cuts. This after the college announced the school is millions of dollars in debt. The cuts would eliminate all administrative jobs in the theater department except for two. It could also lose $500,000 from its budget. Students will be meeting at Monterey's Paper Wing Theater on Hoffman Avenue at 7 p.m.
Well, we have you covered with the latest on the new health care guidelines set to roll out here in just a few short weeks.
Well, this as insurance companies scramble to get ready for the new health care exchange, and some are getting ahead of the curve with a new workout app.
Central Coast News reporter Cassandra Arsenal talks to a fitness expert who says he would consider trying this program out on his clients.
Bill Marzola is a personal trainer at Total Gym and takes his clients through kettlebell swings, rows, and chin-ups, among other exercises on a daily basis, but not everyone is as motivated.
Typically, I'm their motivation to come to the gym. I give them homework assignments. I usually find something to hold them accountable.
But he knows every client is different and some people need an extra incentive.
In programs in the past, we have people pay into it, and then if they lose weight, they'll get money back.
Now there's an app that is cashing in on that exact idea. Now whether you're doing cardio at the gym or some heavy lifting, the app is tracking your every move and making you work for your money. For example, if you work out 3 days a week, you get paid $1.50 per week. But if you miss the workout, you have to pay $5.
$5 is the minimum? Wow.
Yeah.
They're not messing around.
Now, Blue Shield California wants in on the action. A recent email sent to Gympact app customers explains the partnership with Blue Shield. It will take $200 off your insurance payments annually if you meet your goals. And Bill says he'll share whatever it takes with his clients so they'll show up to their workouts.
It'd be a really good program for them to get them in here. I'll just want people to be healthy. And so if they can find motivation from this, I think that's a good thing. It's a great place to start.
In Santa Cruz, I'm Cassandra Arsenal, your Central Coast News.
Now, those kettlebell workouts are tough. All right, we are still waiting, though, to hear back from Blue Cross as well as the Gympact app, which is based up there in San Francisco. It's a very interesting idea.
Well, now to a developing story that is continuing to stir controversy and grab headlines. Yesterday, a federal judge released an opinion that the NSA's collecting of phone calls is, quote, probably unconstitutional. The government says the so-called metadata can help identify potential terrorists without infringing on privacy, but legal experts expect appellate courts to back the NSA. 15 judges have ruled 35 times to uphold the program.
I think it's more likely than not that this case will be overturned.
Well, the White House says that it's reviewing which spying programs should continue. Judge Richard Leone, who wrote the opinion, says that he expected a government appeal and put his ruling on hold, at least for now.
All right, news in what could be your money if you're lucky. And that's a real question. Are you feeling lucky? The Mega Millions jackpot was $636 million this afternoon, making it the second largest in U.S. history. And if there's no winner tonight, that jackpot could reach $1 billion by Friday. And get this, the rules for Mega Millions changed in October. Now you pick numbers 1 to 75 instead of 56. No one has won since these changes.
Still a chance, though, right? All these changes meaning that there is an easier probability of winning a smaller prize, a small prize, maybe $1, $5. The odds of that now 1 1 in 15. Good luck. Coming up here on Central Coast News, will the warm weather stick around? Norm Hoffman has the full weather forecast after the break.
Plus, we're talking from brothels to crystal glasses. The study's done this year with government money, with your money, that one senator calls stupid.
This is Central Coast News, now in high definition.